In this video, we'll pick up where we left off. We're on page 110 of your notes. And we'll do these last two examples, but they take just a few more steps because they're not in standard form already. So I've gone ahead and written the formula on the top of the page. And we'll start by putting this in standard form. So we need to move, it has to equal 0, right? So we need to move this 5x. And then we also need to move this 19. It's plus 19, so we'll need to subtract 19. And that will give us on the left-hand side 8x squared plus 5x minus 19. On the right-hand side, the 19's cancel out and the 5x's cancel out, leaving a 0. So that tells us that A is 8, B is 5, and C is negative 19. So now we'll write our formula with the parentheses empty. B goes in the first two parentheses, A goes in the next one and in the bottom, and C goes in this last one. We'll simplify it in the same way. We'll start here, and that's a negative 5. And then we'll do all of this that's underneath the square root together. Go ahead and do the parentheses like you see them. And that gives us the square root of 633. And on the bottom, we have 16. So the problem says to round our answer to the nearest tenth. So we'll go ahead and we'll take now the square root of 633. And that gives us 25.15. So now we have x equals negative 5 plus 25.159. We want to carry out several decimal places, maybe even do a couple more. Until we get to the end, we don't want to round until the very end. And that will be over 16. And we'll also have negative 5 minus 25.15949 over 16. So let's do that top one. We'll do negative 5 plus 25.15949 equals. And then we'll divide by 16 equals. And we get x is equal to 1.25. Now because the 5 is the second number after the 2, we want to round that to 1.3. So there's one answer. Then we'll do the bottom one, negative 5 minus 25.15949. Enter. Hit enter after you do the top, and then do divided by 16. Enter. And this says negative 1.88, so the 8 becomes a 9, negative 1.9. So we'll do one more. I'll go ahead and write the formula on the top of the page. This is not in standard form, so we need to start by moving the 5x. And then we would get 3x squared plus 5x equals 0. Again, you need to notice that there's no c here. It's really a plus 0. So a is 3, b is 5, and c is 0. So we'll write our formula with the parentheses empty. So start with our b, that goes in the first two parentheses, and then a goes in the next one and in the bottom, and c in the end. We'll start by doing this part first, which is negative 5. And then we'll do everything that's underneath here all together, and that gives us 25. And then the bottom would be 6. So the square root of 25 is 5. So it gives us two problems. We'll have negative 5 plus 5 over 6 and negative 5 minus 5 over 6. So negative 5 plus 5 is 0 over 6, which is 0. Negative 5 minus 5 is negative 10 over 6. And it says to round to the nearest tenth, so we want to go ahead and divide that. Negative 10 divided by 6 is negative 1.666. So when we round that, we'll get negative 1.7. So here's one answer, and here's the other answer. Again, remember, always two answers.